Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jean Guirand. I'm your favorite hard money lender, contractor, and investor. In today's video, we're going to break down an SOW. What does that mean? Scope of work. You're probably like, what is that? If you're interested in flipping properties or you're interested in doing the BRRRR method, you're gonna come across this in your real estate journey, particularly those who are doing their first, second, or third deal. By the time you get to your third deal, you're probably very familiar with how to do a scope of work. In this video, we're gonna break down how to do a scope of work. It won't be long, but I wanna prepare you for what you should be expecting when you're applying for a hard money loan and how to go about it. Now, there's some ways you definitely wanna fill out the scope of work the right way to get your project started along. Now, if you have a lot of money and you're flipping houses, this probably ain't the right video for you, but if you're a first-time investor or second time, or you've done a deal and you weren't really a part of the deal, you're just on the wayside, but now you first time you're doing your real true deal, you want to watch this video. I'm going to break down how to fill out the scope of work, how to send it in, and make sure you're very detailed and descriptive. Let's get into the video. Okay, so now we're going to get into exactly how to fill in SOW, which is scope of work. Now, this is a blank one that you might get from your hard money lender or whoever you're dealing with. You're going to get something like this. Now, they all don't look the same. They're all some have some similarities, pretty much so. All right, so let's break this down. Majority of the time, you're going to get it in an Excel or a Google Sheet. You just upload it and you'll be able to get it done and submit it right away. First and foremost, you're going to put the project information, draw release information. You're going to put your account name, your routing number, and if you have a lockbox for inspection purposes, you might want to keep that on there and let them know. That'll be one of the things as well. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to put the property name, subject address, square footage. What are you doing? Are you remodeling, or what are you doing? You're adding an addition, new construction, whatever you're doing, it's all here. Majority of the time, if you're flipping, it's a remodel. We're going to go into here. We're going to do soft costs. If you have any permits, anything you have to do with engineering, architectural, you want to put the cost attributed to that in this cycle for your draw money so you can release it. Now, the purpose of the SOW, just so you guys know, I wasn't really clear, is for the lender to know exactly what you're spending the money on. Now, some lenders are pretty strict. They might say, hey, you said you spend the money on this, but you changed it. Some are a little bit lenient. They'll allow you to change it up as you see fit, as the money's being allocated. Some are not. So it's very important that you make sure you take your time and fill this out correctly and make sure all the items that you need to hit are on this list. And if you do need to make some changes, it's on small things like mirrors, landscaping, but it's not on your major things. So when you start changing stuff up on your major things, it could be a major red flag, which can then trigger an inspection to verify you're doing the work that you're supposed to do. So let's get into this. Soft costs, which is all here. Majority of the time is going to be permitting or architectural or engineering. I have one here already pre-filled out. I'll kind of give you guys an idea what it is. When you get to demo and foundation, you want to make sure you put a good amount for demo. Tricks of the trade is you want to go heavy on your first two items. So let's say you know your demolition is going to be anywhere between $1,000 to $1,500. I'm not going to put $1,000. I'm going to put $1,500 on here. And you got to make sure it's not going over budget or what you quoted, what it's going to be. This is what's going to help you and calculate that. So you don't want to go over budget, because if you go over budget as a lender, I'm going to require you to have the difference of what it is so you can actually fix the house to a total completion. So I'm probably not going to lean low on the demo, because that's one of the first things that I'm going to need to get done. And if I budget too low, it doesn't help me. But if I budget high enough and I come in low, I have extra funds now to tackle other things without having to wait for a draw, which is right here. Your next major item I heavily encourage you to be on, if you have to do a roof or if you have to do anything mechanical, which mechanical is basically AC, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, all these things right there are your mechanicals. You want to make sure that you have a great number for these things. Now, how do you even get to this right here? You're going to have contractors give you bids. Now, when you first start out, you're going to be very apprehensive of going with the high price, or you probably want to go with the low price because you want to make the best bang for your buck when you're flipping a house. I would tell you the cheapest guy is not always the best guy. I would tell you go with the medium price or the industry standard, or in addition to that, pay somebody who's very prompt, on time, and can get the job done. So you're going to go heavy on the major things. The first two things I do on every project is a roof and demo. So my roof costs are always market price. Now, does it help that I'm a contractor? It does. Does it help that if you have a friend that's a roofer, that everyone else in the industry quoted you $10,000, but your friend is going to give it to you for $8,000? Of course, you want to put $10,000 on the scope of work. What happens if you and that friend have a falling out? You got to pay $10,000. However, you put this on here, you may have to renegotiate on some of your contractors, but whatever extra you have allows you to continue your job without having to do another draw on the scope of work. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure that my big issues, my big items, I'm putting the right price. So let's say, for instance, you're plumbing rough, plumbing top out, and final fixtures. So you would say, hey, plumber, how much are you charging me to do the rough in and the top out and final fixtures? My plumber will do a rough in and then he'll do a final fixtures. That's all he's going to do. So he might say, hey man, I'm going to charge you $6,000 for the plumbing, and you need to ask him, hey, so how much do I have to pay you for the rough in? If he says $3,000, great for you. That means you put $3,000 here for the rough in to get him out the way. But one thing you might forget, and let's say you have to buy the materials. You might want to put $3,500 on the rough in so you have that surplus. You don't want to put $3,000 and the plumber says, hey, that's just my labor. But what about the valves for the bathroom? Maybe you didn't have the water shut off for your refrigerator. You had to owe the house. That's one of the things that investors always miss. They renovate the house, but they forget that they need to put a water line behind where their fridge is at. They never had a water line there before. You might want to think of these things ahead of time so you're actually doing this the right way. So you want to ask these questions for this. What I generally do is I go on here, I fill out all the things that I got from the scope of work for my 3 bids from 3 different contractors, and I get the medium price. I just put it on here. Now, like I said earlier, don't want to have excess of over the budget. You want to make sure you stay in budget as much as possible. Now, I'm not trying to tell you ways to kind of beat the system, whatever the case may be, but you need to make sure that you're on point with this because this can make or break your deal. So I'm going to go heavy on the major things. So like for instance here, I'm doing a roof. This house is under 1,000 square feet. This roof is $7,800. My true cost on this is probably going to be $6,800. Could some things happen along the way where I got to be at $7,000? Yes. If it doesn't happen, now I have an extra $1,000 I can reallocate to something else in the project, or I can save that money and reduce my expenses. However, you're still getting that money out on the draw. So that helps you. If you got to make a payment on the flip, that helps cover that payment. This is what we call baking it in. So baking it in means, hey, you have a little bit extra in. You probably baked in 2 or 3 payments as part of your deal because you're getting good prices. That helps you. There's nothing wrong against that. If you're getting better prices than what you were quoted, even better. So these are the things that I'm trying to teach you to make sure you're doing this right. So you want to go to this whole item and you want to make sure that every item on here makes sense. I'm going to tell you things that investors always miss is light fixtures. They'll pay for electrical, but they'll ask the electrician, hey, does this include light fixtures? 90% of the time, they're going to say no. They may include recessed lights. They're not including the ceiling fans. They're not including the outdoor porch light. They're not including the floodlights on each corner of the house. You got to ask these questions to make sure you're appropriately budgeting for this flip. So you're going to fill this thing out with all the context, all the information you have. Remember, go a little top heavy if you need to. I would say an extra $1,000, maybe $2,000, but get the best price and best quote and focus on your mechanicals. Now let's get to this draw process. Depending on who you get the hard money from, each draw process could be anywhere between $250 to $400. That means every time you pull out money for your rehab, you're going to pay a fee. That fee is for them to process. That fee is for them to the wire fee they incur. That's just what it is. That's part of the business. You should factor that in. Most flippers forget that. Majority flippers will do 3 to 4 draws. Rookies will do maybe 4 or 5. I wouldn't recommend you do more than 4 or 5. That's why you need to have a little cushion to start off. So let's just say, for instance, you do the demo and we do the roof. Demo is $1,500 and we do the roof. So now you're at $9,300. So you're going to put a request in for each of these items. You're going to say, hey, for this draw, I want $1,500 for my demo and I want the amount for the roof because I did that. So now you just got a big draw coming in. So this is what you're going to put on here and then in total, that's fine. But you'll put that on there and you'll get it. So I won't make this video long, but keep in mind when you're doing this, you're paying for these draws. So make sure you budget it accordingly. Hopefully you found some feedback and good things for this video. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to leave a resource guide in this video for you guys. I'll leave a blank one of these in the resource guide. All I ask is you comment below if you found some value and you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing more videos like this so you guys have a better understanding of how to apply for hard money and it kind of help you. And I also put another video, you probably watch it, about the beginning steps to hard money. Please go watch this. This is part of that whole series. Till next time, remember, I am Jean, your investor, hard money lender, and contractor. This is how I make real estate full circle. My company is called the Full Circle Firm. This is what we do every day. We take your dreams that you have of real estate and we turn to tangible deeds where we take that concept and that dream you have right here. We allow you to transition into actually being in the game. Till next time, see you guys on the next video.